guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today's video is going to be a 10 makeup tips I wish I knew before. Basically meaning tips I wish I knew when I first started doing makeup. Especially now, because now my makeup, I feel like I have perfected my art. And there are definitely some things I wish I would have known when I started doing makeup, which would have been my junior year of high school. So basically almost 7 years ago. But I guess we will go ahead and get started. Tip number 1. I wish I knew primer existed when I started wearing foundation. I started wearing foundation my senior year of high school, and all of my homecoming pictures and prom pictures, you can tell I'm sweating off my makeup and it's starting to come off. But now I do use primer and I stick to it. A lot of people don't like using primer. They feel as if it does nothing. And here's the thing. You have to find a primer that suits you, your skin, and your makeup. I follow this girl on TikTok. Her name is Katie Farhood. She has taught me that you need to make sure your primer and your foundation have roughly the same ingredients. If you have a water-based foundation and an oil-based primer, your makeup is going to flake before you even go out. You need water-based, oil-based, and oil-based. The base needs to match. So in other words, you cannot use an oily foundation with a watery primer. Makeup tip number 2. I wish I knew that using cream products is a lot better than using powder products when it comes to blush, contour, all of that. I love cream products so much. I used a powder contour palette from Five Below, which I love Five Below. They have great stuff. But the contour palette, it just made me look muddy. And it never looked good no matter how many minutes I would spend blending it. It would just look like a streak of mud. And no one told me that it didn't look bad. Or that it looked, okay. Because, at that point in your life, you're young, you're following fashion trends and new fads. But let's be real here. Powder contour doesn't look good. It never will. It always looks muddy. Use cream contour. I have a whole palette which is loved very dearly, and you can see what I've used. And I use it all the time, including the contour stick I showed you guys that's in my makeup bag. It just, for one, it blends out so much easier. You could blend it to perfection. If you put too much on, you can blend it a little extra and it'll go. It'll just blend in with everything else. I prefer cream blushes now over powder blushes because it's not as pigmented. And when you use a powder blush, you need to make sure you blend it out or you're gonna be looking a little too rosy in the cheeks. Don't get me wrong, I still do use powder blushes, but I have learned to go in with a light hand. Sometimes, depending on the makeup brand that you use, even a light hand is not enough to make sure you don't look like you just got punched in the face. But now I prefer using cream blushes. I also like how it sits on top of the foundation anyway. I feel like cream products on top of a cream product look way better than cream and powder. So if you are new to makeup, don't start out with powder. When you go to do your base, make sure you have a good foundation. It doesn't have to be expensive at all. Make sure you have a decent cream contour. I suggest literally like drugstore or even Milk Makeup, Elf makeup, anything. Use cream blush. So that way, one, when you go and set your makeup, it all looks natural, it looks flush to your face, it looks like skin, basically, is what I'm saying. And then go on top with a translucent powder, a powder that's your shade, but I've learned over the years using translucent powder is much better. And if you do a little too much cream blush, I have noticed that certain setting powders, they take the pigment down just enough, but not too much. Like Coty Airspun, I like how it takes away some pigment if I did go too heavy, because sometimes I do a little too heavy on the blush. I love blush. Excuse me. And then go in with like your eyebrows and everything. I like doing my eyebrows right after I do my primer. And then going back to primer, makeup tip number 3, I have learned to let the primer sit on your face for at least 30 seconds to a minute. Right after I put my primer on, which I put all over my whole face and my neck, my lips, and my eyes, and in my eyebrows. I'll blow my eyebrows with like a fan or just like something to like fan it to cool it, not cool it, but like dry it. And then go with my eyebrows, take my time. And then after that, once the primer has like set in my skin, that's when I'll go in with like my concealer to like carve out my eyebrows, and then my foundation, and then everything else. Number 4, set your face during every step. The moment you put foundation on your skin, spray it with setting spray, let it dry down a little bit, and then go in with your concealer, blush, contour. Blend all of that out. Spray your face again. Let it dry. Setting powder. Spray it. It sounds like a lot, but trust me, the finish, after you have sprayed your face with setting powder, mwah, it's gorgeous. Makeup tip number 5. It's probably my favorite, but I have learned, which I wish I would have known when I really started getting into makeup, is highlighting the high points of your face. Whether that's with highlighter, blush, contour, whatever. When you do your contour, you should go from like this part of your ear down. And then when you do your blush, you should do it up here. And then when you do your highlight, you should go above the blush just a little bit. And then of course, you want to highlight your brow bones. It makes it look lifted, and it's basically cosmetic surgery without the surgery, which is nice because when you do your makeup, you want to look lifted, you want to look youthful. That's the whole point. But also, makeup is just fun, so just do it. There's no rules to makeup, but there is one rule, and that's blend. Do not leave your house not blended, which leads me to tip number 6. Don't be scared to blend. Blend, 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 blend. Whether it's your foundation, your eyeshadow, or highlight. You don't want to be walking around looking like you just got hit in the face with a chocolate bar. And you don't want to look like you have a white cast on your face. Like, there was one time, my senior year of high school, which I don't know why I thought it was a good idea, but I had a tube of liquid highlighter. And I thought I blended it out, and everybody was pointing it out to me. Like, Grace, your highlighter is not blended. Sorry, I should have listened because I looked absolutely crazy. I looked bonkers. So don't be scared to blend. It's okay. A few extra minutes is not gonna hurt. In fact, it'll make your makeup look a lot better. Tip number 7. I feel like I'm going real fast because like the first few tips were like lengthy. Put lotion on. Face safe lotion or a moisturizer before you do primer. It will keep your skin hydrated underneath all of that makeup, which honestly, if you think about it, it's not really a lot of makeup. People just think it is, but it's really not. But make sure you moisturize before doing your makeup. And it'll also help keep the primer locked in too, because the primer has something to grip on before putting your makeup on, because you don't want your face to feel gross underneath your makeup. So basically, you're gonna wanna moisturize, prime, and then put on your face paint, because the makeup is supposed to stick to the primer. That's the whole point of a primer. But you want your primer to have something to grab onto as well. Tip number 8, lipstick. If you're going to do a full face of makeup, your lipstick has to go with your eyeshadow. You don't want to put on a lipstick that's not going to match the look or match the vibe. You don't want to do a bold look with your eyeballs and then a bold lip. You don't want to do that. And here's why. It depends on the setting. If it's Halloween, go for it. If you're trying to stand out, go for it. But if you're going to like a business meeting, a business party, and you have a smoky eye, you're going to want a brown lip. You don't want red. Don't do red. If you've got anything crazy going on the eyes and you're going to a normal event, you don't want crazy lipstick. I have learned that very fast. That was probably one of the first things I learned, because you do get stared at. I don't really care what people think, but I do care if I'm getting looked at like I'm crazy. So, make sure your lipstick matches your makeup, like so. And you know, sometimes it's okay to do whatever you want. Actually, it's always okay to do whatever you want. It's just, you know, you don't want to go out somewhere important and then look like a fool. I'm just trying to help you out. Tip number 9. It's kind of funny, but kind of not. I used to not wear mascara at all when I first started doing makeup. And I would walk around with my eyebrows not done, no lipstick, just silver eyeshadow. Nothing good came out of that. So, make sure you have your face framing makeup done once you get to a certain point. You always want to start with your eyebrows. I used to start with my eyeshadow. And this tip is basically start with your face framers, which is your eyebrows. Start with those. Don't start doing your eyeshadow. I used to start with my eyeshadow, and my eyeshadow would be all the way up to here, which is fine. Makeup looks can do that, like mine today. But the thing is, my eyebrows, they never looked like this. I tweezed them, I shaved them, well, I shave them more now, and I like how they look, okay? Before that, my eyebrow hairs would be like all the way to like right here. And when I tell you how embarrassing it is to walk around with eyeshadow on, and you can see little microscopic hairs popping out, is embarrassing. So, keep your eyebrows upkept, taken care of, groomed. Make sure your eyebrows are slaying. And don't overpluck. Don't overpluck. Because when you overpluck, they will not grow back. I have seen way too many of my friends pluck their eyebrows, and they're not good. But make sure you do your eyebrows first when you do your makeup. Always start with the eyebrows. And carve them out. Like, clean them up. And also, side rant. I don't like it when I look at someone and their concealer leaves like a white line, or if they use like a pencil and you could see it, and then you like see where they like sketch out their eyebrows like with yarn or something, and it's not blended. It's 2024. We need to blend. That includes your eyebrow, the concealer under your eyebrows, and everything else. And if you're wearing lip liner, blend that out too, because you don't want harsh lines on your lips. Now, final step. Number 10. I actually learned this tip maybe a year ago. If you use cream contour, you don't want to like swipe, you want to pat. I've mentioned her in another video. I follow her on TikTok. Her name is Uniquely Tiana, and she was doing a video on cream products, and she was talking about contour, because I used to swipe mine and then I would do a beauty blender, and now I finally have a way of making my contour look even better, which is by tapping the product in with a brush. So let me grab a brush here. It doesn't matter what kind of brush, but like when you're actually doing this, make sure it's the right brush. So when you have your contour, let me get close here so you can actually see. I like to do mine from this part of my ear down because my ears are two different sizes. We've talked about this. You're gonna take your brush and you wanna pat it. Kind of like this. You don't wanna like swipe or go in circles. You literally just wanna tap it. And you just go until it looks nice and airbrushed. And it just, it looks so good. If you can find her on TikTok, she is so, two, she's very skilled, and she's got some really handy tips. But that is all for today. I hope all of those tips help you in your makeup journey, especially if you're new to makeup. You know, everybody is out here doing their own thing. Makeup has no rules except for blending. Please blend. Don't leave your house looking like a clown. Anyway, I will see you guys next Sunday, and I love you all. Bye!